Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board meeting for Wednesday, April 15th. The time is 6 o'clock. If the clerk would please call.
Janie Anderson, Dale Blinton, Rodolfo Barrientos, Judy Hammerberg, Michael Lanat, Doreen C. Grant, Rafael Gutierrez, Vanessa Cherry present.
This is a meeting of the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board. The board is authorized pursuant to Chapter 14 of the Village's Land Development Code to ensure compliance with the village's Code of Ordinances. The members of the board are citizens and residents of the Village of Biscayne Park. We volunteer our time and we're not paid for our services. The purpose of each hearing is to give any alleged violators the opportunity to contest the decision of the code compliance officer, which resulted in the issuance of a notice of violation, and to determine whether a violation of the village's code has occurred or is occurring. We are not authorized to dismiss violations based on hardships, ignorance, or the fact that others may be guilty of the same violation. These hearings are conducted in a quasi-judicial manner. Our responsibility is to act much like a judge in a court, and that is to hear cases presented by the village's code compliance officers and to hear contradictory arguments presented by the alleged violators. We're not authorized to change the code. The village commission is solely authorized to enact or revise codes. Conversely, neither the commission nor the village manager have the authority to overrule the findings of the board. Pursuant to Chapter 162 of the Florida statutes, orders of the board can only be appealed to the Circuit Court of Miami-Dade County. We have the authority to assess and order the payment of civil penalties, to issue orders having the force of law, to command whatever steps are necessary to bring a violation into compliance, and to assess administrative costs. In order to make a finding upholding the code compliance officer's decision, we must find that there is substantial competent evidence that the named violator was responsible for a violation of the relevant section of the code as charged. All documentary evidence presented by the parties must be submitted for placement in the hearing file. No documentary evidence will be considered unless the alleged violator or code compliance officer submits a copy for the hearing file. Each party shall have the right to call and examine witnesses, to introduce exhibits, to cross-examine opposing witnesses on any matter relevant to the issues, even though that matter was not covered in direct examination, to impeach any witness regardless of which party first called them to testify, and to rebut the evidence against them. If you intend to address the board and you haven't signed in, please do so. Anyone wishing to address the board, and if there's anyone, I don't know if we're Zooming anyone tonight, please stand and raise your right hand so you may be sworn in. You are reminded that this board is a quasi-judicial board and giving false testimony can be penalized. But just before you do that, I want to make note Michael Lanat is present.
Please stand up. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, do we have any additions, deletions, or changes?
We have none.
We should vote on Dale's absence.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve Dale's absence. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. One other question. On the February minutes, do we need to make a motion on those, or is it enough?
You can go ahead and make a motion.
Then I don't know that everybody would have had a chance to read them. Wouldn't it be better we'll put them on May?
The February, sure, we can do that.
What would you all prefer? Because we just got the February minutes that I did sign, but we do need to make a motion. And if nobody's had the chance to read them, it would probably make sense to wait for May.
I believe
Sounds
the
reasonable.
minutes were reviewed at the March meeting. The minutes were reviewed at the March meeting. We only needed a motion. So everyone did review the minutes.
Sure.
I may.
You can do the motion now, actually.
Oh, all right. Then I'll make a motion to approve February's minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Want to follow proper? Okay, if you've ready for the first case?
Good evening. My name is Doreen Grant. I'm the co-director for the Village of Biscayne Park. Our first 4 cases are in section 8 of the agenda. Fines reduction. First case is item number 8.6 for the address 12010 Northeast 11th Place. The case number is CE-25-0859. Brizzo Fine LLC in care of the registered agent, Miami Accounting and Tax Services LLC. They're here for a fine reduction. The violation, I'll say, is not yet compliant. However, I'll explain. This
Well,
violation of
before you-
section 18.5 construction fence requirements. This temporary fence is still up. It hasn't been removed. And I would like to give the property owner the opportunity to explain why they have not removed the fence.
okay, but before we get to that, there's 2 items.
We have 3 other items. But this is important because for fine reductions, compliance is a requirement. However, this fence hasn't been taken down because they have a permit, I believe, with the county that's been looked over for the septic tank, and I'll let him explain.
Sir, if you would, your name and your relationship to the property.
Manager.
We're not on source. I'm going to be honest with you, sir. Okay. Right. I'm going to ask you, please, let's condense it a little. They're having you connect where? Into North Miami?
Yes.
Because
They're at a 120
I
and
know where they're.
yeah.
And it's over $100,000 for impact fees, $150,000 in impact fees.
Okay. But what I'm not understanding, and well, that's bad enough, I will say, I didn't expect that. What does this have to do with the construction thing?
The construction fence, so I did not require them to remove it because in the past, we had a lot of problems with squatters when that property wasn't fenced. So, right, so while they are working on this, I would respectfully ask the board to allow them to keep the construction fence so that they can work the septic issue.
The point is, it's been without a permit, and we will not issue a permit again. Is that what I'm understanding?
No, the fence was done. Oh, no, go ahead.
But the issue was, and what he came in front of us for, was the lack of a permit.
Correct. The fence was done with a permit initially, and they were waiting on applying for development permits. However, they have not been able to apply for the development permits because they've been hindered by what's going on with the county.
And the construction fence permit expired.
Yes, and that they should actually bring into compliance, absolutely. They should keep it current, the construction fence.
See, I didn't understand from your comments on the, on your request. I was like, wait a minute, we're on septic, whatever. Now it makes sense.
And the dilemma, if I may add, is if he comes back to renew that construction fence permit, I will have to send that case to the Planning and Design Review Board.
Sure.
They will not approve it.
Right.
Because their condition is development permits. But while he's waiting for the county to do what they're doing, and we can't get development permits in, Planning and Design Review will not approve it. But I am asking, like I say respectfully to the board, to allow him to keep that construction fence because we will have a different kind of problem, which will be squatters back into that.
Which will be far worse,
Right.
yes. And there are kids that live on that block, so
Correct.
back right next door, so, yeah.
So what's before us is a fine reduction. So you're saying that you agree with what he's asking for in this case?
I do. I looked at the documentation from the county and I agree with what he's saying and respectfully ask the board.
But the thing is I think that there's been a precedent that's been established here that I think we're going to have to discuss, not to say that a precedent can't be, have exceptions. But the precedent, as far as I understand it, has been that, that there's been what, like at least a 250, right, for the administrative fee, right? And then I mean, I don't think we've ever gone below that. And then the other thing that I was going to add to that was that there's, I don't know if we've ever gone below 500.
No,
I don't think we ever have.
and I haven't said my recommendation.
Huh?
I haven't given my recommendation for the amount of money they should pay.
Okay, so maybe I should hear that to see if we need to
I would
consider
like to
that.
Explain this part first,
We normally do not
right,
eradicate the violation fine nor the admin fee.
correct.
Because of the time and the expense that Doreen has to, and, they have to put into this. So that's kind of been a precedent that's got developed. I mean, everybody is, there's volunteers here. So, but, we've been working together for about 1 year, some more liberal than others, but really that's kind of been a established line. And if there's more discussion about that, let's hear it because
Property owner is proposing $1 from a 7,500 lien. He's proposing $1. We are proposing 500, and we're proposing 500 just because the village should get back the administrative cost of.
Okay, so maybe I read your mind because the thing that I was thinking in my mind, and I wanted to make sure that I was reading that right because I saw what the recommendation was, and you were talking about being in agreement with him. I understand what you're saying, and I understand the dilemma you're in. And at the end of the day, are you going to still have to hook up to that municipal sewer line? And you had to pay all that money in the impact fees to get to that point? Just to direct your, yeah.
Your funding.
Well, the first.
Well, you don't disagree with that. I mean, some would like smaller places than the larger places, but, right.
So first thing we need to do, I'm going to make a motion in CE 25-0859 that we reject the offer of $1.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
So what you just saw there was you made a recommendation to pay $1. And we just had that discussion. And I didn't know that that was what Doreen's recommendation, if she said lower, then we would have to, talk that through. But she, that's the lowest that we've ever, as a commission, a board has ever gone to. So, I mean, if you want to make a motion, we can't tell you what to recommend, what to do, but you've heard the arguments here. If you want to make another, motion or a tennis,
Right.
you can make a recommendation about how much you want to pay. Your $1 got rejected. You kind of heard what the discussion was about the lowest that we would ever go and what her recommendation is. You can do whatever you want,
You
but
can go from there, but we need to hear from you.
you can
now.
read the room.
What's your next offer? You've heard the discussion.
Okay, you have to tell us. Yes. Okay, and I make it,
No,
rec-
you're offering. We have to accept it.
right.
And
So I'm gonna make a motion.
we have to be the offeree.
Close enough. Okay.
I'm gonna make a recommendation that we accept $500. That is staff recommendation and the client says he will be willing to pay $500.
I'll second that.
In favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. All right, sir. Deadline for paying? Judy? May 1st?
30 days.
Ask him if it's good for him, the 30 days.
30 days for payment.
Okay. Or the fine will revert back
The ref-
to its original state.
If you don't pay within the 30 days, it goes back to the 7,500.
The next case is item 8.7. Same address, same property owner. It's for case number CE-25-0860. They are asking for a fine reduction. They were found to be in violation of section 8.4.1, overgrown grass, weeds, and brush.
$19,500 for overgrown grass?
Right. And
Clients.
And the reason this fine accrued to this amount was they did comply when they were supposed to comply, or I would say they had a partial compliance. However, I did not accept that compliance because they took the trash from the front of the house and put it inside on the yard, in front of the yard. So when I went there to conduct my inspection, I saw the trash in front of the yard and I was like, this is not compliance. They had a choice to just leave it out there and the trash bulk pickup would have picked it up.
Sir, please, the board first, and I'll give you time.
Yes. Okay. So he wasn't the one, of course, they sent people there to work who had no idea what.
But
they
here's-
do.
Here's the thing that stands out to me, aside from the 76 days that it took for compliance, if you take a look at the pictures, there are more problems than just that pile of trash.
Mhm.
The swale is all overgrown. The front yard is overgrown. So do you visit that property often? So then you have seen things like this. And where, I understand, but you said you visit the property. If you, because in your notes, you mention a couple of times how you've made the effort to keep it clean and neat and whatever. Sir, please come take a look. I'm sorry, but that does not qualify as neat, clean, and safe. And I believe we first heard this property in 2024, am I correct?
That's correct, Chief.
At that
years ago.
point, please somebody correct me if I'm misremembering, we did not assess any fines because we're trying to work with the new owner.
That's true. We did not assess any fines. They had just,
Initially.
right, they had bought the property with the intention of developing and that didn't work as they were hoping.
And it
Right.
shows- oh, It also shows the swale area overgrown, so that's outside of the fence. Sir, I need you to identify yourself and at the microphone, please. Don't worry, it's better. Just as good as the rest of us. So they didn't pick it. Okay, yeah. Let's see. But
I mean, that has happened. I mean, I've had that situation happen.
Sir, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. I'm down the block from that house. We've had no problem with our trash pickup. I'm on the same schedule. I'm on the
And-
same schedule.
And if you do, you can call City Hall and they can dispatch somebody to get out there.
But you understand, it's not just that, and that's bad enough. The front yard's overgrown, the swale was overgrown. There are things growing up the side of the house. It's a problem. And it's not all centered on that trash pile.
During, d-
Mm. But it was still in the front, it was still in front of the house, it was visible. Well, Doreen, may I ask for staff's recommendation, please?
So there was partial compliance, like I stated earlier. Um, The fines were allowed to accrue to $19,500. This was unnecessary. I would, they are proposing $1, but I would recommend 500, just because of the length of time it took for compliance. And it was explained to them that the trash is in the front, and they could have done it differently.
But also with our trash pickup, the yard waste pickup, if I hire somebody to do tree trimming and work, I pay them to haul it away. The city doesn't haul that away. If I trim my palm fronds and that I put in a bucket and they take, but they're not here to do all the major cleanup of our properties. We don't have a contract with them to do that. That's above and beyond the scope of what our trash collection is. To haul it.
So the normal recommendation would have been 10% of the actual amount, but, considering that this looks like a miscommunication between the,
well, because I'm surprised at your recommendation, which I think is extremely generous in light of the work and also the perspective of how you evaluate fine reductions, with that calculation, even when,
partial compliance.
right. So,
I'm sorry.
no, I just was surprised at that and, and happy to hear that.
76 days, sir. 76 days,
At $250 a day,
plus the ad.
plus the admin.
But you would have got notice that there was, if you don't come to here and deal with this, then you could be, there could be a lien, you could have daily fines, you know. They gotta, you gotta, we don't want to see you again except at an open house, so just get it redirected.
Yeah, I see that.
I don't know, They can explain that, but here we are right now. You've recommended $1. You saw what happened in your last case. You understand what the rationale
We have to
is.
Vote on it.
And
I'll,
hold on, just 1 second to say no. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we deny the offer of $1 on the fine reduction.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion
No.
passes 4-0.
We can't tell you what to do, but if you want to make another motion, you heard everything up to this point. Well, 10% has not been recommended by them, so that would be $1,950, right? She's recommended 500. Right. So what I'm saying is, she said, despite the fact that this is what we usually do, I would recommend 500. So just like the last time, we just rejected your $1. If you've got another offer to make as an offeror, to offeree, then we'll consider it. You have one?
I think we have to get past being fixated on the trash pile. There was so much more to it than that. Front yard grass, swale, much more than just that trash pile. We got to get past that fixation. That's not the only problem. So the ball is in your court, as they say, sir.
I make a motion to reject the 250.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pass. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Anything else? Do you have another offer to make? I'll make a motion to reject the 350.
Second.
Aye.
0.
I'll make a motion to reject the 400.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
I'll make a motion to accept the 500.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
The next case is 8.8, same address and same property owner. The case number is CE-25-0861, asking for a fine reduction found to be in violation of Chapter 16.13 exterior paint. Now, when this violation was issued, I would like to inform the board that the property owner did work really fast in bringing the property into compliance. They pressure washed, and I think within a very short time, it was painted. I would ask respectfully if the board can waive the regular $250 and just charge administrative fee of $250. That would be my recommendation. However, it's up to the board.
I won't agree to that. I mean, you figure, we've got pictures from March 6th. Did it still look this bad? That's a very long time to finally come into compliance. Very long.
So Doreen, what, you're
Oh, gosh, no.
Doreen, so I didn't know if I fully understood your rationale for breaking with your,
I had a different
Requirement.
date. I apologize. I had a different date, but I just looked at the case and we opened the case in October, so that's a long time.
Exactly.
you thought it was opened up.
Right, I thought that it was March. I was looking at the date for the order of enforcement.
So when you said March, you were saying waive it because it's April now and that was March.
Time I went there and I saw activity.
So you were 6 or 7 months off, is what you're saying?
I was that off.
Okay. So if, what is your, do you have a recommendation?
Recommendation would be the same $500 just to cover costs, and, the violation fine.
Okay.
Here's something, bear with me, that I think needs clarification, only because once it's on the record, I want it to be accurate. I'm so sorry. We'll get to that. Oh, sir, in your reasoning for the request, you mentioned the notice of violation issued in October references exterior wall mildew. The notice to appear dated March 2nd lists a completely different description, lot maintenance and cleanup. Those were two completely separate cases. The notice to appear for the paint is actually dated March 16th,
That's the date I looked
and
at.
it goes with the paint. The notice you're referencing, March 2nd, goes with the overgrowth. We heard two separate cases. We ruled on two separate cases. They were not confused. I just want to assure you of that. And since you put that on the record, I wanted to explain.
Okay, since the owner's representative has offered $1 for this fine, I will make make a motion that we reject it.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. 4-0.
You guys have an alternative?
Because, sir, because it's been 2 years, sir. We have been hearing it's going to get turned down soon for 2 years. The neighbors, sir, the neighbors have to live with this. You have a family with kids on one side of this property. There are lots of other kids, on that block. It needs, the fact that, yes, I understand it's a struggle. You didn't anticipate the sewer, et cetera, but it still doesn't absolve you of following the rules and being a good neighbor.
Well, I mean, who know, I mean, the people with the kid next door, they may move down, down to the other side of the house, and they're never going to get the benefit of the time that they had at that property to,
And
I get right. We don't know if it's be 5 or 10.
if
you
your
know?
$5 million property had a house looking as bad as that beside it, do you think you'd be able to sell it for $5 million? But if we allowed the neighbors' properties to get that bad, do you think that you could sell your house for $5 million living beside that house?
Look, we all want to be
No.
a good neighbor. I get your perspective. You're in the real estate business. You're trying to make money. You got unexpected costs. This is another one. So there's a $7,500 fine. For that. You heard the community, about what they say about it, and they rejected your $1. So at this point, you can make another offer, and we can consider it. You heard what the recommendation was from Doreen, and you see that there's a lot of, weight that's invested into what she has to say. And you've also got, 2 prior hearings moments ago going through that process. So you want to make another motion? Or no, I'm sorry, another offer to consider? I'll make a motion to accept the $500.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
And the pay by date.
Right. Okay, and all fines to be paid in 30 days, or they revert back to their prior amount? Is that, Michael, is your motion? I'm sorry.
No, please fill in the gaps. I like just doing the motions. All that other stuff, I don't really mind you doing it. No, that's fine. I welcome it.
Uno más?
Yeah, 8.9.
The last case for this property owner, section 8.9, same address, same property owner.
It's you guys again? Okay, good. All right.
Case number
Getting too routine here.
CE-25-0862, fine reduction, found to be in violation of section 8.4.31, property maintenance. The roof was unmaintained. They are recommending they are offering $1. We recommend $500 just to recover cost.
I actually don't even see a dollar amount. So I saw a dollar, and then nothing.
He missed that one.
You missed that one. Okay, so you haven't made, I mean, I'm going to say that I don't know that there is an offer being made because the copy that I have doesn't have a number. So you get to ask for a number and we'll vote on it. Do you have anything to say about this? Because this is about what? This is a roof? Okay. All right, so we all know what the story is, so where are we at? I'll make a motion to reject the $300.
Second that.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
You know the routine. Okay, I'll make a motion to reject the $400.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
I'll make a motion to accept the 500.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
And
Perfect.
Payment with.
And payment to be made within 30 days, or the fine reverts back to its original amount.
It's a whole lot less than 175,000. So exactly. All of us do.
Yeah, as staff would like to recommend to the property owners or representatives that if you stay in touch with us, the outcomes can be very different. Because if I,
But you'll never see us because they'll take care of it in the office. You only get to see us if something happens along the way. I don't know. And then we talk about it. So
and if we had an open case in the county and we knew about it, then
well, we just learned a lot today, right? I mean, this, you know, we don't mind people learning about it, not from that perspective,
The
but
size of the house, sir, that they're requiring you? Yes. I guess also because you're further north than me, so between the size of the house and you being further north, they can force you to do that.
But look, at the end of the day, you know, I know we went through a lot here, but you know, you were looking at fines of how much? Like almost $30,000. I mean, you guys did pretty good. And we appreciate your, you know, and like Doreen said, I mean, it's an open door, so hopefully we'll see you at the open house.
Afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
Staff would rather hear from you in advance than knock on your door with a little citation. Really, ask questions.
Because Code's job is to try and keep the neighborhood looking nice so that the neighbors aren't upset about it.
That's why you picked it, right? We appreciate that. We appreciate
paying the $5 million homes.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Good night.
Next two items are in section 6 of the agenda, and it's 6.3 and 6.4. The address is 981 Northeast 113th Street. For case number CE-26-0013, property owner is Renee Alvarez. We're here for an intent to lien for the $500 that remains unpaid. found to be in violation of section 8.4.3.1, exterior wall paint. We're happy to report that the property is now in compliance. The house has been painted. However, the $500 remains unpaid.
You always come through. You had the last thing with the fence and you came through. Right? It was always right up to the point, and then you come through.
See us first.
I'm telling you, you know?
Do that. But I still
Yeah. Oh, well, you're welcome.
yourself and your relationship to the property.
Right. So this case is for the exterior paint. We haven't gotten to the trash
What
yet.
we're dealing with, though, is the unpaid. What
Right.
what we're dealing with. But we're dealing with the unpaid fine. We're dealing with the unpaid fine.
There's $500 outstanding that was assessed.
No, we can't, on the citation fine and the admin fine, we do not reduce those.
I mean, I know that we've had the, the good fortune of meeting before, unfortunately, under these circumstances, but you've always, like I said, remember the fence? He had that fence, the concrete fence thing. He came here, got it done. This, got it done. I mean, he comes through. So, and like he said, like he says, he's got to save money to do these things. And, things, money doesn't grow on trees. So I'm very compelled by the request and would ask you, what type of time frame do you think that you need in order to satisfy this? And you got two things here?
Yep.
So let's say, so like if we gave you 90 days or 120 days, there'd be no problem at all, right?
I appreciate your offer. You'll pay, let's divide it.
333.
How about $250 a month for 4 months?
Yeah.
Everybody be okay with that?
Whatever time that this homeowner wants, I think that he should get. And he said 90 days, he could do it, 120 by definitely. So whatever we can do to make it a little bit easier to get it done.
$250 a month for 4 months until it's paid off.
Hey,
Hey,
you're not alone
I
there.
tell, when
I,
they try to sell my property, they come to the door knocking, I say, I'm gonna be buried in the backyard.
of course, the problem with that, okay, hang on a minute, guys. Figure how to properly word this, because each one is 500.
Right.
Well, are we dealing with these together? I mean, we called them together?
There are two separate cases. It's up to the board if you want to lump it as one. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll call the other case just to put it on the record and then you can rule on that. The other case number for the same address and same property owner is CE-26-0014, found to be in violation of section 8.4.10 for trash. Violation is in compliance. $500 remains unpaid.
Okay, so we're dealing with it together.
Question is for them.
So we're dealing with it together, right?
Correct.
So you got $1,000 fine, and you heard from the last guy, the way that we look at things. So, we're basically just looking at a time frame, 120 days. You're going to make a motion?
So my motion would be to combine cases CE 26-0013 and CE 26-0014 as one unit for a total outstanding fine of $1,000 to be paid $250 per month and paid off in 4 months, or else the case will come back.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. $250 a month for 4 months. Or we'll see you again.
Oh.
We can just come down and
I don't want to see
just
you
come down
again.
and hang out.
Try to say hello. That's all.
The next one. The next 5 cases are under Section 8 for fine reduction. Section 8 Section 8, and it's 8.1 to 8.5. The address is 720 Northeast 117th Street, case number CEN-24-653, SFL Assets LLC, in care of their registered agent, Zaguri Scott, PA. They're asking for a fine reduction.
What number is it?
1 through 5.
Oh, 1 through 5.
I'll read all the cases, and the reason is the current property owner is a new owner. This property went into foreclosure. We had a lot of liens on this property, large liens. This property owner came in, they paid their abatements, they paid all the outstanding citations, and now they are asking for fine reductions on these violations, which they came in and cleaned up and cleared very quickly, I have to say. Within a very short period of time, they cleaned up the swimming pool, they pressure washed the roof. They brought the property into reasonable condition in a very short time of owning the property. So without wasting the board's time, I would like to read all the cases, and I'll tell you what the recommendation, what their offer is. So the first case is CEN-24-653. They're offering $2,000. The next case for the same address, same property owner, case number CEN-24-654. They're offering $2,000. Case number CE-25-1014. Same owner, same property address, offering $2,000. The next case is CE-25-1015. Same property owner and same address, they are offering $2,000. Next case is CE-25-1016. Same address, same property owner, they are offering $2,000. These liens were way into the 300s of thousands. However, because of what they did, how they came in quickly, paid everything that was outstanding, I would recommend to the board that they accept these offers.
I thought of that as soon as I read this. It was an extraordinarily fair, good faith offer. And considering the foreclosure situation, it could have been much more difficult.
And the house was in terrible condition.
I'm absolutely complete agreement.
And let me ask you this, and I'm looking at some text messages that are in there. That was the prior owner, right?
Right.
Okay, because I kind of remember this, because this was before us.
He came before us online, and
Quite a bit.
at the time when we were working with Mr. Khan, the property had already gone into foreclosure. Maybe he was hoping to regain the property, but that didn't happen. So
Do we need to take them one at a time?
it's up to you. You can accept
Okay.
all of them. I read all of them into the record.
All right, on case, where's the CE on it? All right, on case CE-24-653, on case number CEN-24-654, on case number CE-25-1014, on case number CE-25-1015, and on case number CE-25-1016, I make the motion that we accept $2,000 offer on each of these violations.
For a total, I believe, of 10.
10,000.
Total of $10,000 to be paid within 30 days.
And do we have to list out all the different offenses? Okay, okay.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Thank you so much. Listen. No, believe me, we're grateful. We're grateful.
Nice.
Awesome.
We,
You the real estate
we
agent or the lawyer? Okay.
we like,
You got a really easy job today then.
well,
Oh,
I can talk for a little bit. I am too, so.
but you know, it's nice you didn't make an offer of $1. You made a fair offer. Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
Well, again, we're very grateful that he's come in and so quickly done everything, and that your offer was very much a good faith offer.
And we really love that somebody's going to be moving in. It's just such a nice thing. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
We appreciate it too.
Oh, we much appreciate.
Yeah. And for the
Thank
record,
you.
like, they have already paid us over $3,000. I just wanted to put it on the record. Thank you.
Don't feel guilty about sending the bill. I mean, you had to wait, man. It's like travel time.
Thank you very much.
Raphael, can I ask you a favor to check the mic, because I've been texted that the mic is not working. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Natalie.
Right. People watching this, is that what you're saying?
We'll send the orders in.
People watching this?
Bob's checking in on her.
Yes, test. Now it is. You know what? Let me check something.
Next case is under section 7, and it's item number 7.5. It's for the address 11920 Northeast 11th Place. The case number is CE-25-0178, Alina Perez. We brought this case back to the board. This case has been before the board several times because she's going through litigation. But we brought this case and another case before this one because the village attorney reviewed all the cases that are in litigation. We are obliged to let him know if there's any case that has any pending litigation, and we did. When he reviewed the cases, he mentioned to us that just because a property is in litigation for something does not mean the board cannot issue an order of enforcement. We have to have an order of enforcement in place. That's what the procedure should be. The board doesn't have to assess fines if they don't wish to, but we have to have an order of enforcement on the record.
When'd your trial date?
Oh, so we settled.
Oh, so that's
Yeah,
great.
so
So you
I
got new-
figured
got
that
good
was what I
news?
was coming to talk about today. I didn't know it was something else. So yes, we're good. So now I'm just waiting for them to negotiate, send the check basically.
And then you get the roofer.
And then I already have the roofer identified, so I'm ready to go. So I should have that in hand within the next few weeks. It's already been a few weeks. Finally, we didn't go to trial. We settled and
And did you have,
yeah.
you have the permits and everything all ready to go?
Not yet.
Getting
No,
ready.
not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, this happened maybe if like 3 weeks ago now. I think it's been about
Well,
3 weeks.
congratulations. And
Yeah.
And just for the record, you're Alina Perez,
Alina Perez, yeah, the
the
owner.
owner.
Yeah. Wow, this is loud.
Well, that's great.
So.
Yeah, yeah. So that's good. Yes, I'm happy that's over and done with. I think it was like 3 years in litigation. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was awful what I went through after Hurricane Wilma with citizens, but.
Oh, it's
they-
terrible.
They did move on it. I mean, I had no roofs. It was gone. It was hanging on the fence. So,
The order of enforcement, yes, will help us and guide us through the building process. Okay?
So basically, you were basically saying that because what we've been doing with Ms. Perez is continuing waiting and kind of affording her that time because of litigation. Our attorney said you don't have to wait for that. You can still force her to, you can still force compliance just because he has litigation doesn't mean anything, right? You were just informing us of that.
Correct. No. They were all, we were just continuing the basic progress.
Okay, but so now and now she's here telling us about what the progress is. So your recommendation isn't to do an order of enforcement so that we force compliance, but you want to give her some time to just go through the process?
My recommendation would be that we still put an order of enforcement in place. We've had, and I'm not saying that about Ms. Perez, in the past where, oh, this is what's going on, and 6 months down the road, that's not what actually happened. I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen in this
No,
case,
we've been-
but it helps us when there's an order of
Ms. Perez, the only reason.
Follow the case.
I'm
So sorry.
No, I
This is not an order of enforcement. What we've had here has been just, continuances to get progress.
In other words,
Now, we need an actual order that if anything happened, in case it doesn't work out, in case the roof is not, we would have an.
but here's my problem with that. This has been going on since 2022. So for the last 4 years, we've been affording her just, or,
We've been continuing.
no, she says 22. It's 22 or 24.
22, I think it is.
22 it says in there.
That's what the village
Yeah.
attorney said to us. This
Okay, so I understand that, but I also understand that we're supposed to also look at things on a case-by-case basis, right?
Right.
Okay, so on a case-by-case basis, and particularly with Ms. Perez, we've been sitting here for 4 years saying, kick it down the road because she's kept us involved. She stayed involved. She kept us apprised of the litigation process, and we all know that practice in the judicial field, the wheels of justice grind slowly, and it has ground to the point where now she's got a satisfactory result. She's sitting at the starting line of getting a new roof, and now we're sitting here, I don't think in this particular case, I understand, the logic of the order of enforcement, but Ms. Perez has not, has never burned us. 4 years we've been here. I want to give her some time to just get, if you want a progress report in, I don't know, 30, 45 days, whatever it's going to take for you to get a roofing permit to come back and say, and walk her along the way, or if you want to give her some time to say, okay, we'll get your roof done by this particular time. I think that she deserves that type of respect than to give it an order of enforcement to force compliance.
And I partially agree with you, but the logic is that if we have an order of enforcement in place and the board does not have to assess a penny,
exactly.
what the order of enforcement will do is do the same thing that a continuance will do. Give her time.
And what if she violates? What if she violates your enforcement?
That's where
Hold
the
on.
person comes in. If she violates a continuance, there's really nothing we can do. If she violates an actual order of enforcement, I can bring it back here and ask for a fine.
Ask for a fine to be assessed from what
Instead-
point?
I could do it retroactively, actually.
Right, so, I mean, that's,
Without an order, we wouldn't. That we can.
okay.
We're not going to assess,
No.
as far as I'm concerned.
I wish you.
We should give Ms. Perez X number of months. She's been spectacular about following through. I'm sure if she sees there's going to be a problem meeting those X number of months, she's going to get in touch with Doreen. She's going to get her insurance. We have all that flexibility.
Can ask
but
for an
I
extension of
believe-
time, yes.
I believe the attorney is asking is that we give some parameters so that there is a goal, so that there is a structure. That doesn't mean we're gonna kick her when she's down, but she can come back. Continuance, if she chooses not to ask for a continuance and doesn't meet the deadline, then yes, it does come back in front of.
There's been some precedent cases. There's been some precedent cases, which is not an identical case like Ms. Thing, but similar, where they had to get a permit and we gave them compliance because they got the permit. They never did the work. I ended up having to bring those cases back
Oh, yeah.
because we gave them compliance and closed the cases. However, they didn't go ahead and do the job. Ms. Perez can do the same thing. She can decide, I'm sorry, Ms. Perez, to have to give you as an example. I know you're,
Fine. It's fine.
she could decide not to fix the roof, even though she gets even though she gets the money, she can decide not to do the roof. And for me, that roof will stay in non-compliance. So I have to have a way to continue, watching the case and watching the progress. And what helps me is that order.
Okay,
Now, my knowledge of doing roofing, because I did one in 2019, I would not say 30 days is enough. I
Oh,
would
no.
at least 45 to 60.
I was thinking, granted, she's has to get the money, I'm sorry, not she. Ms. Perez still has to get the money, has to get her contracts all in place with her contractor
Apply for permits.
and get permits. I was really thinking more along the lines of like September 30th.
Absolutely.
Okay.
well, let me ask Ms. Perez, have you delved into getting you said you got a contractor identified?
Have a contractor
Have
identified?
you talked to him outside the
Yeah.
identity?
Yeah, I
Okay.
have.
Did you say how long is this going to take? What do you say?
Well, it
There needs
depends.
I know they overpromise and underdeliver.
Plan-
What did he tell you?
Fine, it's,
He hasn't done anything yet, so he's waiting for my initial deposit.
Okay.
And it's my first time getting a roof. I hear it's terrible, so I don't
But it's
even
but
know
you're a
like
very
the
simple
process.
roof. It's a very simple roof. It's got a very little pitch, right?
Yeah.
It's
Just, yeah,
very standard. So, so you don't have any guidance from your guy yet?
not yet. no.
And in the last 4 years at a dinner party or talking to somebody, did you ever, anybody say how long a roof takes in their experience?
Not that I recall. I've
Okay,
never
so
had
you
to
don't
have a
always-
roof like, yeah.
right.
You know, and that should be enough time.
Mine took less than 2 months.
Well, let me ask this question. I know that she's been coming for status conferences, right?
It has been excellent.
Right, but my question was how long was it between, how long were we giving her between to come give us an update?
Been coming every month, and I think there was one every other month.
Every other month?
And then I was reporting by email in advance. Yeah. hmm
We don't need you to come back. I mean, let's give her
No.
the 5 months to get the permit, knowing that if you see any issues, even the slightest chance, you're not going to make the deadline.
Okay.
And it's an email. We know the status.
You will love your new roof.
Uh,
It's so
yeah.
nice knowing that the water droplets aren't going to come in.
I'm going to just make sure that you all know where I stand on the record, is that I'm just fundamentally opposed to issuing an order of enforcement to somebody who has been nothing but compliant. And we're not talking about 1 or 2 meetings. We're talking about for 4 years, almost 50 months, and has, been an example of, community, being involved and active in the situation. And she's been given a lot of leeway for that. And I don't think that at this point, when she's right at the finish line of the litigation, at the beginning of getting the new roof, that now we force compliance through this directive. I would propose that we give her the same courtesy that we have given her for the time over the last 4 years. And if she, if she was coming every 60 days to give us a report and, telling, I got the roofing permit, the guys already started, and then we give her another one, then why are we going to change the rules of engagement with this particular resident when it's worked fine all of this time? And now we're going to change it because we got a
Village attorney.
recommendation from the attorney, which it's an attorney saying that you're not, you're not prohibited from doing what he's suggesting. He said that you're allowed to do it, right? He says that's what you can do, and that gives you, there's all kinds of great benefits that you've told us about with regard to putting this order in place that you're talking about, right?
Now, I would not attempt to make an interpretation of what an attorney said. However, I can, I can put it in my own words by saying I understood what the village attorney meant by saying that any litigation on a property, and it doesn't have to be about a roof, should not stop this board.
Exactly.
from-
He's saying that we have the permission to do what you're suggesting, right? He said that you have the permission to put this in place, right? No, hold on, Judy. Miss Anderson, Jane, let me just finish. It's usually, I'm usually the same to Judy. We go back a long way. No. Well, all I'm saying is that you got an interpretation from the attorney that this is something that we can do, right? But it doesn't mean that we have to do it. It's saying that we can do it, right?
Again, I would not want to put words
Okay.
in his
Did
mouth.
the attorney tell you to come here and direct us to vote a certain way? He didn't tell you that.
No, he did not make any recommendations.
Exactly.
That what the attorney was clarifying in that meeting, and we had examples of cases, for instance, our village manager had a similar case like she had. His roof was leaking, had to deal with insurance. However, he used his own money to fix it because code was issuing him with a violation for the roof. He used his money to clear the code case, and then he continued the litigation.
Right.
So what the village attorney was saying is, our cases should not be held by that litigation.
Right.
We
And
actually move the code board case, even hold the property owner accountable for fixing the roof while they're fighting their case with the.
And I understand that. And basically what he's saying is that in that case, that guy had the financial means to do that, right? Ms. Perez has never come in here and said she's got that. And I don't know whether she does or not, or how it was. We handled it this way. And we did it this way for all of this time. That guy handled it the way that he could because he had the financial means to do it. She's handled it the way that anybody would want us, a resident to handle it by coming here and holding herself accountable. Now she's got the money and now, and she's going to get the roof done. And hold on a second. Let me finish my point. There is no time limit on this, right? This is the administration of justice. People have their time. We all have our time to express
Absolutely.
these views. And the point that I'm making is that where she has handled this in a manner that is consistent with the way that the board views, good neighbors that are good citizens and good people in regard to handling their business.
Compliance is our ultimate goal. You're right.
Exactly. And she's been keeping us there. So I'm fundamentally opposed to shifting the burden to her with putting this potentially retroactive fine that can be put in place when if she does it, right? But let's say something happens and we can't predict the future, as somebody just said, that the builder just said. We don't know what's happening in the future. But right now, I don't think that there's any reason for us as a board to change the manner in which we're dealing with Ms. Perez and her situation. I would recommend that we do what we did before. We do a continuance and she comes in here and says, you know what, I've got the contract signed and I got a permit. And if we can make that part of it and give her 60 days to get those things done and force a compliance that way, fine. But I'm not in favor of putting something in place that could potentially cause her to get a fine that's retroactive to today, because she hasn't done anything to deserve that.
You've only heard this. Okay. Secondly, what I suggest we ask you, not something, why would I ever do something that is going to punish her? I'm the one suggesting 5 months. Surely in that 5 months, Ms. Perez is going to get a hint early on. Oh darn, I ain't gonna make that up. That's responsible. I know what you're doing. I'm not worried about it. But we're at the stage where we need structure in our findings, not just placing it next month.
We're a case by case basis, and and we should not be shifting the burden now at this stage with Ms. Perez. No, I'm not saying, every case is a case by case basis. And Ms. Perez has done everything that we want somebody to do, and to put something in place that could potentially put her at risk of getting a fine that retroacts to, April 15th after September 30th. I'm fundamentally opposed to that. Her conduct hasn't dictated that. But well, we may not be on this board, maybe somebody else. So I don't want to put Ms. Perez in a position where she can have that potential. And you want to shift the burden just because the attorney said that you can. So it doesn't mean that because the attorney says that you can, that you have to shoot that bullet at somebody like Ms. Perez, who's been nothing but an exemplary citizen. So so with that,
What's the motion?
Okay.
I'll make a motion that she come back in, how long do you think it's going to take you to get a permit? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea, but I can predict within the next 60 days.
How reasonably likely is it for her to get a permit in the next 60 days? Okay, and that gives her a little wiggle room just in case? Okay,
Then come back. We'll give it. We want
I
compliance.
was being more generous. I was giving her 5 months.
yeah, but the thing is that that's shifting the burden. If you want to give her 5 months to get her, to come back for it, if you want to give her 5 months to come back for a status to determine whether her roof is done, and then we can, send her off with congratulations, that's great. And if she doesn't, and then we figure out the next thing to do, I would definitely support that.
Is the motion to continue for 5 months?
I would say, I would go to the I would say.
So I'll make a motion to continue this case for 60 days, or, or I make a motion that she obtain a permit for the replacement of her roof within 60 days.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to have to say something. Once you give a condition, you have given an order of enforcement.
Okay, then do, okay, so, so
60 days, and then your next sentence is gonna be or else. If she
Okay.
doesn't get it.
okay, then
Jake
okay.
is saying.
So then we give her, so then I say that we give her, that she comes and gives us 60 days and we continue. We continue the case for 60 days. No, I mean, I would anticipate that she's going to have a permit, but she's,
That way, we'll continue.
exactly. That's my motion.
You just said, Jane is, Judy said.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We got 2 noes?
There was a motion and a second that you have to ask for.
All in favor?
Aye.
I would give her 5 months with the intent that she will have to. My intuition is. Don't be if I'm wrong.
60 days.
Yeah, 60 days, based upon her conduct over the last year or so, given us Harvard reports while the case has been in litigation. And it come back in 60 days, it expires for, which we would anticipate that she anticipates that she'll have a roofing permit on the way to getting it. The expired folks, when Sanderson was saying we couldn't shift the burden over to her, that if she didn't comply and life got in the way, and she was, not able to comply and not suspend the burden, then she got a potential of getting a fine retroactive to today for the last 6 months.
But if there's no fine, then it won't be retroactive. That in future, if she doesn't comply, and I'm not saying I support that motion or that motion, I'm okay with any motion that comes forward. I'm just gonna clarify how the order. is supposed to be written. Now, if you order without any fines, there's no fine to retroactively go back to. There is zero money. And if she doesn't comply, it gives me power to bring that case. Because there's an order. You're taking some order and ask for a time beginning whenever you decide. Right, begin alternate day when I bring the dates. Or we, it's correct. If, and it's a if. It's correct. Sorry.
Well, it is on her, and the burden has been on her, and that's what, and she's been taking care of it by coming here. What if she didn't, what if this was, 7, 8 months ago when she didn't have the money and she didn't have the settlement and she wasn't able to do what that other neighbor did, and we were going to force compliance upon her and she's got no control over the litigation. Right.
That's not what I think that says that, hey, there was a violation that occurred. And here's how we are watching products. We gave her 30 days and we gave her 60 days and we gave her an extension for 90 days. It's an order. And order is different from a continuous, because they just continue the case.
Right.
Without an action order. I really happy. It's not an action order.
Okay, then September 30th, she's not in compliance, then what happens then?
I will be.
Let's just, we don't have control of the future. What could happen? For what? A commitment for what? What's the violation? Like, we could violate her that day. Right, so what's the recommendation in 6 months if she doesn't comply? Exactly. Well, of course, but what I'm saying is that that's shifting the burden and now puts it into the possibility that she could get a fine. What I'm proposing is that you give her a continuance, just like we've continued to give her a continuance, and she's given us an update, and now she's at the point, not 7, 8 months ago, where it's like, gosh, I'm still in litigation. And at that point, we might say, hey, let's see if we can push this along. But she's been coming along every month, every couple of months, saying, hey, I still got the litigation. Now she comes in tonight and says, hey, I won my case. I got a settlement. I'm at the next step. And we're going to say, okay, well, you don't get in 6 months. I could potentially give you a fine. That I could recommend a fine because you didn't come in compliance. So why does she deserve that from this meeting rather than the respect that we've been giving her in this process and say, come back in 2 months? And if you tell us that there is that you haven't done anything, she sat on her hands, she didn't do anything, then you can make some recommendations at that point, right?
So the way the law is written, the order of enforcement is put in place so that we can monitor compliance. The order of enforcement does always give them time to. The order of enforcement doesn't always just say, here, give us some money.
But it shifts the burden. It shifts the burden. Okay. Okay. I understand due process, and there's also due process with regard to how we've been doing things with a particular owner. So I'm saying that the due process that we've been exercising to her is to give her the time and the space in order to get, to this point, which she's not like that other guy that could just throw, $30,000 at a problem and get it solved and go and fight the litigation. And now she's got the money. And so let's just give her, come back and tell us in 2 months, maybe 2 months, you got a permit. If you do, I'll be happy.
We make it their responsibility.
And she's met her responsibility this entire time.
But we have started December 1st.
It sounds like it's closing. She just settled the case.
If the motion is to continue under the setback, we are here.
Okay. 60 days. For a progress report. Well, you know what? I would be more inclined to go your way if in 60 days, Ms. Perez came here and didn't do anything and didn't have any, didn't have a roofer, didn't have a permit, didn't have a name. I would say, you know what? You've been good up to this point, but now we got to make some changes. But right now, she's earned my trust. Aye.
No. 3-1.
Thank you. See you soon.
That was eventful. You have to thank Michael. And I'm gonna disappoint you with the next case.
Which one that is?
I'm gonna read this case so we can get reasoned it, the one with okay, I'm gonna read 7.4. It's for the address 11308 Griffin Boulevard, and it's case number CE-25-0608, Renata Kosiba and Pierre Itebrat. We were going to ask for an order of enforcement found to be in violation of section 8.4.3.1 tarps on the roof. You are familiar with this case. It's an identical case with the one you all just heard. And this evening, as I was walking into the log cabin for the meeting, the property owner walked up to me and said to me, "Good news, we have settled."
But as this owner, I mean, where is the owner?
She lives right there, and I told her she doesn't have to come.
Okay.
They have settled, just like Perez. We were gonna ask for an order so that we can give them time to apply for permits. However, I leave it up to the board.
Well, let me ask you this. Has that owner been as responsive as Ms. Perez?
Absolutely. And Ms. Perez has actually been in this longer than them. They were actually more responsive.
Didn't take so long.
Wow. Well, based upon that, I would, and the owner is not here, but it's not because they're not interested. It's not because they're shirking their responsibilities. I would make a motion to continue this for 60 days for a progress report. And at that time, we can evaluate whether we need to take additional action.
In this meeting, I don't have a problem with that because this is the first time. Well, technically, and we did it for a year for Ms. Perez, I would be very uncomfortable taking a different tack. Now,
I'll second that.
days, I won't be so kind.
So is this a second?
Second Michael's.
All in favor? Aye.
Motion passed. Well, true, because it's only fair. You can't, the cases are too similar. I would not want to take a completely different tack. But these folks that we did with Ms. Perez, that's just wrong. That gets us charged with targeting.
I mean, Miss Perez was just jerked around longer. That's all. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
You said 60 days, right?
60, yeah.
The next case is under old business, section 6 of the agenda, and it's item number 6.1. The address is 821 Northeast 109th Street, and it's for case number CE-25-0947, Peter Lebanov and Danielle Ayala. We're asking for an intent to lien for an amount of $500, which remains unpaid. They were found to be violation of section 16.14, double fee permits. They had installed a temporary obtaining permits. I will explain to the board that when this violation was reported to us, the property owner did not have to have a fence because they were doing interior work. However, they did some work outside that they did an extension. They revised their permits, and there's an extension going on. They're extending the garage, so that's exterior work. We went over and we asked them to install the fence right away because there was so much going on.
Yeah, they didn't do an extension because I know that property unfortunately, because I mean, not unfortunately, whatever, but they removed the garage and put a new structure and everything. Yeah.
So now that the addition is on and we had to ask them to quickly put the fence up to protect the neighbors. They did put the fence up, but never came in to apply for the permit. They hadn't started.
And any communication with them after that?
We have tried to communicate. We sent an email yesterday. We didn't get an answer. Oh, Raphael has a question.
I'm looking on BSNA, and I do see a fence permit.
Yes,
Very construction plans.
they did get the permit and without an affidavit
didn't
of
pay the
compliance,
fine.
we're here for intent to lien. They didn't pay the fine, the $500. They did eventually get a permit. I have to mention, thank you, Raphael. I do not want to misrepresent the facts. I didn't intend to. They did get a permit, and I would like to read onto the record permit number PFE 26-000.
So
Assessed. The order of assessment.
If nobody has any further comments, I'd like to make a motion. In case number CE 25-0947, give the property owner until May 1st to pay the $500. If not, the village to file the intent to lien or $500 and any applicable filing fees.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
The next case, 6.2 for 859 Northeast 115th Street. Case number CE 25-1012, Elena Agabikova. We were going to request to have this case dismissed and remove the fines. However, after we reviewed the case for the 100th time, we found that we were actually correct the first time. Now, there were some discrepancies that happened in the building department, but all of those things were corrected today. They had to pay an extra amount for the double fee fine because they only paid one. One was canceled during the process. We corrected everything. They paid the fines, closed the cases, they paid the double permit fees, and all we are asking the board to do is disregard. No, the cases are closed. Is to disregard this item.
do I have to make a motion?
Yes.
All right.
No, no.
No,
The cases can be dismissed. The cases are closed.
You
I will make a motion and item 6.2, 859 Northeast 115th Street, CE 25-1012 to disregard that agenda item.
Thank you.
Aye.
Moving on to the next case, number is under section 6 of the agenda and it's 6.5. The address is 1015 Northeast 112th Street for case number CE 25-0598, Ricken Place LLC in care of the registered agent Harvard Business Services, Inc. We are asking the board to reinstate the order of enforcement with daily fines retroactively. They were issued with a violation for a driveway which they were parking vehicles on an approved surface, but the actual violation is their driveway needs to be upgraded to the design standards. They never pulled a permit and the fines were stopped when they came to the board. I think it was the second or third time they came to the board was lenient enough to stop the fines that had been running and had run up to $9,000. However, the permits have not been. And, fines run, they're asking that, fines be reinstated.
Let me ask a question. I see in the items here that there's a, let me just go to it. It's a statement. This is not a statement of good standing. What does that mean? Was there something wrong with the company? Yeah, brick and lace Bricken for Lace LLC. This is not a statement of good standing.
Says it there.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's okay. So, okay. So there was nothing bad on the,
Order of extension, it says all accrued fines can be removed. That means the fines were removed back to, November 13th? And in which case we'd have to retro back to.
Registered in Delaware, like.
Must be something.
Lower taxes. Oh, it has to be lower taxes.
There are a lot.
Probably lower taxes.
I think it's also the case law is very unfavorable for issues of there, so we can see that very straight. Corporation they.
Yeah.
oh, right.
Or back to December.
Right, okay. Okay, final answer, guys? You still deliberating?
Something like this in case for them, this may, affect how we move. So I.
Okay, well, that, yeah, I saw that. That's why I wanted to get clarification, because,
Back to November 3. The reason I asked, Doreen, is if we look at the order of extension, it says that all accrued fines were gonna be removed.
Seventeen says that the daily fine 15 has been stopped.
But the order of extension says something different. Take a look at the, third paragraph.
Oh, they did ask for an extension.
All accrued fines to be removed. So that would be the.
Why would we remove?
Because they're not asking for an extension. Where they, because they came in and an extension was approved, we have to move the fines from the date of the order when they were by to the date when they are asking for the extension. So you are right, the extension was made to February 17th, and that's where you think.
Okay, so it's February.
yeah. And before we go further, I just, in light of the information that you advised us concerning documents that were in there that were ostensibly or were not supposed to be in there because they may influence one way or the other, you're asking us to disregard those from any consideration, right? Okay. And so I think it's important for the record that I make a statement about that, because I asked that question about that and what did that mean? And I got to tell you that I have looked at it. When I asked the question, Judy had said something about it's just a corporation registration or whatever. I didn't see anything deleterious in there or anything that would influence my decision either favorably or unfavorably towards this case. And yeah, I think it was important I make that statement because I was asking questions about it and before you made your statement. So
Thank
I want to put on the record that it has not influenced my decision or that's not even made yet, but
we appreciate that.
But we did come to the decision that because of the extension, we go back to February 17th.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
All right. Anything further? I'll make a motion in case CE 2505 reinstate the fines due to the lack of permit obtaining by the property owner. Act fines to be reinstated as of February 17th, 2026.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you for that correction and that detail. Sometimes stuff passes my attention. I'll move on to the next case. And it's case number it's under section 6 and it's 6.6. It's for case number CE 25-1007 and it's for the property located at 11215 Northeast 8th Avenue for Sylvia Barcelona. We're asking for an intent to lien. The lien has accrued to $7,750 as of today. They were found to be in violation of section 8.4.3.1F, property maintenance roof. The roof has not been cleaned in a very long time, and we re-inspected the property and found that the roof has still not been cleaned. They're still non-compliant.
are the people living there?
Yes, Raphael?
Let me take a look. Yeah, so I called, I had a conversation when the violation was issued. And today I called her, but, her voicemail was full. So, I was unable to.
Is it, because I'm only asking because I heard it before when you said you sent an email to somebody, and I think it was like today or yesterday. Is that typically when you try to contact people like a day or two before the meetings, or are you guys behind, or is it usually the time?
Typically, we do try within the course of the month, the maybe 2-3 months, if the case is coming up, whenever, we do try to contact people, or sometimes they come in and contact us or try to come and see us in the village. However, we do review all the cases before we bring them. And I always ask the officer and the code clerk if there has been any communication. If I hear that the communication was 2 months ago, I ask them to try to make contact.
Yeah, because that's persuasive. And Raphael, when it was issued, you had a conversation with the owner?
Yes, I did.
How'd that go?
It didn't go well. She was very upset, because, she had some previous, issues in the building department regarding a roofing permit. And so getting the notice of violation and the problem, so she went on to.
That happened years ago with the building department. It wasn't recent.
No, it was some time ago.
So you triggered some bad memory that she had about the building department? And that
She went on to, put the property taxes and so forth. So I had to just listen. But what I do and what we do is, the follow-up is on the first any compliance. So if they have a compliance date, right, that's when we make the follow-up phone call.
and when was that?
In her case,
I mean, we're going back to February 17th. This has been kicking around.
Order of enforcement.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The order was March 16th.
so this case, the compliance date was August 27th.
Or the order of enforcement.
No, not in. Yeah. So I haven't, spoken with her since. I was probably the other day, actually. And so she's getting. She's getting. Her date.
I'll go into that.
Yeah.
But did you speak to the owner at that time?
But
Okay, well, go back to that compliance state thing that you said you always follow up, which would have been in March,
yes,
but you didn't talk to her. Do you have a record of it?
To speak with her.
But if you don't speak with somebody, say attempted to call, voicemail full, do you note that? Is there anything noted for that time frame?
in the comments, do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it for the March follow-up?
I don't have nothing for March. I called today.
Oh, in
Well,
March, it's important that oh, go ahead.
Yeah, because you're saying what your pattern of practice is when they get the violation and there's a date in March. That is what? That's when they're supposed to be complied by date, and your pattern of practice is to have contact by that time, right? But you didn't have that contact. You don't have evidence of trying to contact at that time, and you don't have a present recollection of contact at that time. Is that what you're saying? Okay, so you can't tell the board whether you followed your pattern of practice of contacting this particular one-time irate, homeowner about the violation or not, right? Okay.
We have in December, for now, in April, and we still have, there were 10 people.
Yeah.
It is a group situation. I'd like to, not come into compliance, and then have the city. From 7,500 and 7,760.
I agree with
In
that.
this case, we have to agree with the board that due process is very important, especially before we lien a property, we have to at least
Right.
make contact.
Right. Right.
If there's no further questions, I'm going to in case number CE 25-1007, give the property owner until May 1st, come into compliance by cleaning the roof. If not in compliance, village is to file a lien, intent to lien, in the amount of $7,750 plus filing fees. Daily fine will continue to accrue until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Second that.
Favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Next case is under 6.7 in the same section of the agenda, and the address is 11403 Northeast 8th Avenue for case number CE 25-0929, Lavanta LLC, in care of the registered agent, Ernan Adonier. We're asking for an intent to lien. They were found to be in violation of section 16.15.2, landlord registration required. They applied for a landlord permit but never paid the $40. An order of enforcement was put in place, and as of today, they have accrued fines of up to $3,750.
That all began because they didn't pay 40?
And I asked the same question when I reviewed the cases, that for $40, you don't respond and you don't get in touch with us and don't pay that $40, then you end up with an order of enforcement with a $250 a day.
This is.
And what kind of, go ahead, Rafael.
And I spoke with the property owner, and he said he was gonna come to Village Hall and take care of it, and he never did.
And when was that, back
They,
at the time?
And then I called today, and let's just let them a message, this voicemail.
Need something this simple. It should have been settled. It is not a homesteaded property.
Rental.
So, Frank,
And the homeowner knows, they realized that they said they were going to do something that they didn't do.
that is correct.
Called him.
And when was this, what Monday are we talking about? This past Monday or?
So they know they had this, and they
She
did.
emailed the Board of Enforcement to make sure, even though it's mailed to them, she emails a copy to them. The direct.
Okay, and did they get bounced back or anything? Okay.
No more further comments. I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion. In CE 25 in CE 25-09, 29. Go ahead, the city to go ahead and send the intent to lien letter in the amount of $3,750 plus filing fees, daily fine to continue to accrue until they come into compliance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
The next case is under 6.8 for the same address and same property owner. The case number is CE-26-0074. This is an intent to lien abatement by our Public Works Department, so this cannot be negotiated. We still haven't received the fine assessed of $300 by the Public Works Department for work that was done to protect, secure the swimming pool, and the $500 that was assessed for this violation by the board. A total of $800 remains unpaid.
Any questions?
I'm happy to make a motion. CE-26-0074, that we, put forth a lien on the property, including the amounts, what you said it was, $800.
$800.
Plus any applicable lien fees. Excuse me.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
4-0.
The next case is under 6.9. The address is 11505 Northeast 11th Place. Case number CEN-24-213 and CE-25-0355. We were hoping to make a disclosure to the new property owners of this foreclosed property. The new property owner that has taken over is RBI Mortgages LLC, in care of their registered agent, Rosenberg and Cummings PLLC. We have tried to make contact with the registered agent. On the registered agent that's on the record. This registered agent was on the deed. The registered agent on the record, Attorney Isaac, we contacted him. He called us back just to confirm that he was the registered agent and where we got his information from. We let him know we will go through a lot of papers and public records. But we haven't heard from them since. This is our second attempt to put them on the board to make these disclosures. These liens have been running for a while now from the previous owner, and they are in habit of us.
What is our recourse? The village attorney take a look at this?
Yes, he looked at this one, just like 720. He worked with us to litigate 720. We hope that the property owner can contact us, because what happens, any recorded lien, we lose it in the motion. So,
We're so far down on the priority list.
correct, we are not, we are not a superiority lien. So the only thing we can do, the attorney advised was the orders of enforcement for these liens still stand with the property. So they will still stand with the same amount of money that's outstanding on the violation. So like we did with 720 was try to get in touch with the owners, let them know, disclose the violation, and I hope that they can come to it. So in this case, we haven't heard from them. We'll continue to reach out. Hopefully,
Can we do a new order of enforcement from this day forward, since it's new owners and they're still not compliant?
So what we can do is not an order of enforcement from this. We cannot issue, and that would be double jerk. Is that what they call it? It's right. We can issue the violation and start over with the new.
But that would be from this day forward, not the past.
Correct. If the board decide they wouldn't want to work on this, we can issue new violations. However, those old violations that we are still active, we're still open. So if the board suggests I start over, I'll be happy to start. We go to
Seems like to me that if you can't, if you put under the other, and it's still not blocked,
That's what we should think about, and we try to, why we can't start.
Oh, we can. We can start a new case. We're gonna give them 30 days.
Final, or enforcement, this one is.
I, that would be my
Let me just ask a question on the, you keep saying that we're going to lose the money. Let me just ask the question and see if I'm understanding you correct. And is that because of where we would land in the superiority of the lien? But that's based on the assumption that there's more debt that will get above us than the value of the house, right? Okay, it has already happened? Okay, so we already wiped out. Okay, so yeah, so. Right. Right.
The lien that was recorded in the public records. However, we can still those that are on the record.
So in terms of a compliance for this particular house, we went from one non-compliant owner to a new non-compliant owner. Okay, and we can only deal with the new non-compliant owner from what he's done for the last 2 months. Yeah. Yeah. Based on the history of the house, they know that it had problems, right? And they were able to get this house, you know, without having to file this stuff or satisfy those, and now they're sitting there in their own non-compliant mess that we're dealing with. So exactly. So that could be the subject of is that the subject of this, or is that subject of something that's going to come down the line? Yeah, because those, and it was never, those things were never put in the first place without a permit. So this guy bought that problem. Okay.
Okay, come.
in order. Issuing new violations. Is there anything else you want?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Not to me. So I know when the liens are on. Exactly.
But we can do something about now on.
Right.
Item 6.10, 6.10 for the address 11550 Northeast 11th Place. It's for case number CE 25-0883 Hector Reglero, Vaz and Paola Reglero. We're asking for an intent to lien for a fence violation. There was a fence that was in violation, section 11.6.7. Fence was discolored. We pressure washed the fence. However, there was a part of the fence that they had to replace, and I'm gonna leave this up to the board to decide. There was a part of the fence that they needed to replace, which they did. However, the code officer had let them know that they needed to apply for permits in order to fix the fence. Now, yeah, and there was an order of enforcement, asking them to obtain the permit. They haven't obtained the permit, but the property owner, when we got in touch with him, read a different ordinance to us that says if a job, and he's right, if a job is less than $100, he doesn't need to get a permit.
That's true.
Claim was he only spent $75 to replace the two, and I cannot find a way to dispute That I cannot speak against what he said. He needed to replace it single wood.
And more importantly, he took care of the problem that was there, which
Correct.
was he pressure cleaned his thing. He had to get a couple boards. He
Correct.
did it. Okay.
Right. I cannot
Right.
call him a liar, and in that case, I will ask for the board to no, we're gonna have to rescind the order of enforcement that asked them to get a permit, because now fines had run, right? So, and we will have to rescind the fines as well, remove the fines. They didn't need a permit. They-
Okay. So,
As was expected.
so I'd like to make a motion on, where's the number here? Oh, CE 25-0883 to, rescind the order of enforcement and the attendant fines attached to it. Aye.
Next item, we are back to new business and in section 7.1 for 871 Northeast 117th Street. For case number CE 26-0044, Lakshmi McGrath. We're asking for an order of enforcement. They've been found to be in violation of section 8.4.3.1G. The exterior wall needs to be painted. Our last inspection revealed non-compliance. Our inspection was today. Our last inspection was this afternoon. And they are still non-compliant.
And has there been communication with this owner?
Raphael?
Yes, I met with him today as well as the person who's going to be doing the job. So he does have, they're working on closing the contract. So he asked me, the property owner asked me today if we could give him an additional 30 days until to comply. So the person who's going to do the job, they think they may start doing it next week. So it's just pull the paint. This one is for the
Into approval.
paint. Yeah, so that's a very simple.
It's a quick process?
It's a quick process, and the color they're going to choose is an approved color, so that will be approved right away.
Hours.
Yeah. The what?
Asia board.
Oh, yes, the,
They usually fix that with, they usually fix that when they do
Would the
painting.
no, it's repair. It's repair.
we,
Yeah.
all right, we have noted that violation and we will issue a courtesy notice for that, for them to replace it.
Yes.
In case number EE, report, give the owner 30 days.
I'll say.
All in favor?
Aye.
30 days.
Next case is for the same property owner, and it's case CE 26-0045, asking for an order of enforcement. They were found to be in violation of section 8.4.3.1F, roof maintenance. They have a dirty roof, still non-compliant. Raphael?
The same property owners on the same situation. So the person who's going, the contractor who's going to be painting the house is also going to clean up the roof. So again, they're asking for a 30 days extension.
So he believes they can get both of those things done in the 30 days.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
For the roof, they don't need a permit. So that's would be very simple.
So we've been remiss, we've been saying 30 days. We shouldn't have to go that. So we're going to,
May 15th.
so that would be me. Now, I usually have count for kind of the people they get orders of enforcement. So if you're a little more comfortable, you would like me to do so.
I'm good with that.
I can make, actually, I'm gonna go back and revisit the other one. In the case of CE 0045, give the property owner
I'll second.
as an extend the time for the property owner. And
Aye.
You revise the first case to 522 as well? Go ahead.
okay, going back to case CE 26-0044, I'd like to amend my motion to make the extension of the compliance date to May 26th.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Next case is in section 7 of the agenda, and it's 7.3. The address is 1107 Northeast 117th Street. Case number CE 26-0009, B Park 110 LLC in care of their registered agent, Ilmax LLC. We are back with a progress report on, a progress report or none thereof. In this case, they were found to be in violation of chapter 5.6.1, A12 off-street parking. The driveway does not meet approved design standards. Now, I would like to bring to the attention of the board that this is the property that was bought by B Park to be demolished. And now 2 years had gone by. If you remember, we brought this property back to the board. And since then, they have cleaned the property. They have painted the property. They have washed the roof. Now, the violation with the driveway is a little bit difficult for them. And I'm just saying a little difficult. I just be logical in this situation because they still intend to demolish that property. Now, if they're gonna demolish the property, to install that driveway now would not make any sense. What I would ask for the board to do is give them more time. They've applied for a construction fence permit, which I know will not be approved yet until the development permits come in. So if they can give them another 90
Okay.
days,
Who's ever driven in that area?
they did a lot of.
These folks have not been make this property.
They painted the place when it looked terrible. Even though they're gonna tear it down, I mean, they did that, they had,
It's a house.
I know.
So we are asking for at least 90 days back for a progress report.
If you're that paid.
While you're looking that up, Jenny, I'll make a motion.
Yes.
Bring them back.
Make a motion in CE 26-0009 to extend the time to 90 days to June 26th for a progress report.
Second. Favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Next case is under section 7, and it's 7.6. It's for the address 12025 Northeast Fifth Avenue, case number CE 26-0048. Property owners are Moore, Schneider, and Bar Oz. We are asking for an order of enforcement in this case. They were found to be in violation of section 16.14.1, double fee permits, for an outdoor kitchen that has been installed without first obtaining permits. The kitchen is beautiful, however, they did it without permits. And we are at this point asking for an order of enforcement. We have reached out to the property owner. They've come to the village, we've explained the violation, and they are aware of what they need to do.
I want to know how Raphael got the picture in their backyard.
Taken on them, and the other one was taken from the
construction site next door.
Someone.
They're non-compliant on double permit fees.
They haven't applied for the permit at all.
An aqua kitchen is gonna require probably mechanical and electric.
Absolutely.
Correct, it looks like they've connected water, there's a slab, and
Trying to figure a large. Are we still kind of slowed down?
not as much, no.
Judy, if you're gonna make the motion, I don't want to walk on it.
No, I'd rather you make it because I'm not quite sure what to do with.
Oh. And will any of that need to be in front of P and Z, or is that all electrical, mechanical? Is that gonna have to go in front of planning and design review? Excuse me.
To go before PMZ because they have
To
to
make-
confirm setbacks.
All right, considering all the plans that this person is probably going to have to submit, I'm gonna state, okay. In case number CE-26-0048, a violation has occurred, assess a $250 fine, $250 administrative fee, give the property owner until June 16th to pull a complete permit for the kitchen and everything it entails. If not, $250 fine commencing on the 17th.
250 daily?
250 daily. All right, first and a second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
And those were all the cases we were able to bring before the board tonight.
Now we're on to March's minutes. Did everybody have a chance to read March's minutes?
We did not. No, I'll take whatever you guys.
And actually, there are a couple of things. On March's minutes, on agenda item 6.7, where it says, on the second to the last line, where it says if not, the fine will be reinstated, it should include reinstated back to March 18th of 2026. Yes, ma'am.
No.
Not just that the fine will be reinstated, it'll be reinstated back to the 18th of March. And just refresh my memory, under the next 4 cases, it says Dale Blanton made a motion to deny the extension. Remind me of what that was.
Yeah, we were about those.
Okay, so that's the only, deal with the election. Oh. 7.5. Yeah, exactly. The village abated, but it says all costs will be billed back properly if it's meeting, but it doesn't list the violation fine of particular.
Just didn't get it, to get it.
Does anybody else have any I would make a motion to approve the minutes contingent upon those. Second. Favor? Aye.
I make a motion to adjourn? I'll make a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Yes, everyone.